to do what they want to keep pot illegal, et cetera, and that will have effect within those states. And secondly, the pot industry that we're setting up, as you characterize it, it will cost nothing because it will be financed entirely by a tax on marijuana growers.
Okay, reclaiming my time, the chairman, it makes my case for me, right? In the minds of my Democratic colleagues, right, we create industry by taxing and then having programs in the Department of Justice, like the Cannabis Justice Office, to create a economic industry. Look, here's the deal. When I was in the U.S. Attorney's Office, not once, and in all the people that I worked with who prosecuted drug crimes their whole careers, because I was there briefly, not once were they ever going around and trying to find the individual who was smoking a joint behind the bleachers at a football game or was caught with a small bag. It was almost entirely, and I'm sure, and I know that there are exceptions, and I know the terrible history with respect to abuse of power by authorities with respect to race, and these are all things that we should tamp out, and we all agree on that. But the idea that the federal government typically, that U.S. attorneys' offices typically are going around and putting people in jail because of simple possession is just not true, right? When you have a prosecution for someone for simple possession, it's because you've cut a deal and you've worked out an arrangement because the dude was doing bad stuff and you know it and he knows it and he can give up sources, and then you cut a deal for possession or something else, and then you're able to go after the real bad guys. And almost all of these people moving mountains of pot are moving mountains of other stuff, including, by the way, human beings right now in concert with cartels and moving human trafficking because there are wide open borders. The fact that this bill goes well beyond just simply descheduling, which I would probably oppose, but if we were having a simple debate on descheduling, I would at least entertain some notions of maybe we could change the scheduling or otherwise. But I think it is problematic. And I think this bill is flawed on its face by virtue of the fact that it's creating mountains of additional federal programs and offices under the auspices of supposedly legalizing pot. One final point is just this. I, for one, have not bought into this narrative that, the fact that we had a significant number of people incarcerated was inherently in and of itself a bad thing. The fact is we want to have our streets be safe. And frankly, right now, we are allowing too many people to get away with crimes because, frankly, we're defunding cops. We're going after all the people that are engaging in law enforcement. And now we're trying to take away another tool for going after bad actors, when, in fact, we have rampant crime increasing across the country, murder rates skyrocketing, and we're basically reverting back to the failed policies of the 70s and the 80s that gave us the movement to try to clamp down in both the war on drugs and to clamp down on gangs and to clamp down on illegal activity. And so I, for one, have continued to be a pro-justice member of Congress, and I will oppose it.
Gentlemen,
Mr. Chairman.
the gentleman yields back.
Chairman.
For what purpose does Mr. Cohen seek recognition?
To strike the last word and many of the words over the last
Gentleman is
3 or 4
recognized.
decades.